20 years ago, he adopted and welcomed a girl into his family. Now, let us share how she showed her gratitude many years later. In the midst of a turbulent African conflict zone, a skilled UN pilot named Michael found himself in a life-altering encounter. Amidst the wreckage, he discovered a young girl named Mandisa, and their meeting changed everything. Michael, a seasoned UN pilot known for his bravery and composure, was on a rescue mission in a war-torn African nation. His helicopter's rhythmic blades provided the only solace in the desolate landscape. Suddenly, a missile strike threw his helicopter off course, forcing an emergency landing in the heart of the chaos. Emerging from the damaged cockpit, Michael was met with the grim aftermath of relentless warfare. Amidst the destruction, he spotted an unexpected sight: a young girl, Mandisa, alone and dressed in rags. Despite her tender age, she exuded remarkable courage, her eyes holding a depth beyond her years. Clinging to a makeshift doll, she symbolized survival, resilience, and hope in a war-ravaged world. Amidst the chaos, time seemed to stand still for Michael. He saw a reflection of his own daughter, safe and secure thousands of miles away. Mandisa had none of those assurances, yet her fortitude moved him deeply. In a spontaneous decision, Michael chose a path that would forever change both of their lives. With a kindness that contrasted his tough exterior, Michael approached Mandisa, lowering himself to her level. He introduced himself, assuring her of his protection, and showed her his UN badge to convey that he was there to help. He promised to take her away from the desolation and danger that had consumed her life. Mandisa's unwavering trust, symbolized by her nod and the release of her makeshift doll, humbled Michael. Her trust strengthened his determination. Hand in hand, they walked back to the helicopter, the town's ruins casting long shadows around them. Michael knew their journey ahead was perilous, but in that moment, bathed in the soft glow of the setting sun and the helicopter's reassuring rumble, he felt an unbreakable connection with this brave young girl. He had become more than a rescue pilot. He was Mandisa's lifeline, her guardian, and her hope for a future beyond the war and destruction. Michael Henderson, a seasoned UN pilot known for his courage, embarked on an emotional journey he hadn't anticipated. Mandisa, the resilient girl he met in the war-torn ruins of Africa, stood at something profound within him. Moved by her bravery and seeing a reflection of his own daughter in her innocent eyes, Michael made a life-changing decision: to adopt her and offer her a chance at a new life far from her war-torn homeland. As they navigated the bureaucratic hurdles and crossed oceans and continents, Michael sensed the monumental shift in their lives. Landing on American soil, he felt the weight of the responsibility he had shouldered. He wasn't just bringing Mandisa to a new home. He was introducing her to a completely different world, culture, and way of life. Mandisa, with her wide-eyed curiosity, adapted to her new surroundings with the same resilience that had helped her survive in her homeland. Despite misunderstandings and bouts of homesickness, the bond between Michael and Mandisa grew stronger. Trust developed gradually as Mandisa's stoic silence thawed, replaced by a growing comfort and openness with Michael. He witnessed her laughter at cartoons, her joy in chasing fireflies, and a fascination with the local supermarket's vegetables. Each day brought new discoveries and a step closer to a new normal. Michael and Mandisa embarked on an emotional journey together, navigating a maze of feelings. He comforted her during night terrors, lingering scars of her war-torn past, while she found solace in his presence. Every shared smile and moment of silence brought them closer, building an unspoken understanding that grew daily. Adapting to American culture proved challenging for Mandisa. She marveled at the bustling supermarkets, crowded schools, and the constant buzz of suburban life. However, she embraced it all with an open heart, blending the new with cherished memories of her past. Michael, witnessing Mandisa's growth in her new environment, felt immense pride. He taught her English, introduced her to American cuisine, and explained the customs and traditions of their new home. Mandisa became an integral part of his world and community, dispelling his initial apprehensions. Their journey was far from simple, but it was uniquely theirs. From the moment Michael promised Mandisa a new life amidst the ruins, he knew they would face challenges. Yet, as they built their special bond, navigating complex emotions and bridging cultural gaps, he knew in his heart that he had made the right choice. Mandisa was his daughter in every sense, and he couldn't imagine his life without her. In the heart of rural America, a transformation unfolded. Mandisa, once lost in the ruins of war-torn Africa, blossomed in her new home, revealing a dormant brilliance. School became her sanctuary where her inquisitive mind thrived. She devoured books, excelled in her subjects, and displayed a voracious thirst for knowledge that amazed her teachers. It was in the field of engineering that her passion truly ignited. From tinkering with the tractor in the backyard to crafting intricate models for school science projects, Mandisa found joy in the mechanics and logic of engineering. She possessed a natural talent for comprehending complex structures and systems, effortlessly connecting the dots that eluded many of her peers. Michael watched in awe as her talent unfold, supporting her every step of the way. Recognizing her potential, he provided tools, resources, engineering kits, online courses, and even connected her with local engineers to nurture her burgeoning skills. Their connection deepened during quiet hours spent working on projects together. Their laughter and shared sense of achievement filled their home, adding depth to their unique father-daughter relationship. Alongside her academic achievements and growing passion for engineering, Mandisa's journey continued to unfold, promising a bright future. Mandisa's curiosity about her past began to unfold, leading her to explore the vibrant colors and captivating rhythms of African culture. She started asking Michael about her homeland, delving into the memories of her brief time there. She yearned to learn more about her biological family, the life she might have had, and the cultural roots that still pulsed within her. Michael handled her inquiries with grace and honesty, recognizing that her past was an essential part of her identity. He shared photos from his missions, recounted stories of her resilient people, and connected her with African communities in their city where she could discover more about her heritage. Balancing the nurturing of Mandisa's talents with her exploration of her past was delicate, but Michael and Mandisa navigated it together, strengthening their bond with each step. As Mandisa's understanding of her past and her passion for engineering grew, so did her gratitude for Michael, the man who had rescued her, adopted her, and given her the chance to dream. Their journey was unique, filled with love, mutual respect, and the understanding that they were not just a father and daughter by adoption, but by choice and shared experiences. 20 years had passed since Michael, the skilled UN pilot, had adopted Mandisa, the young girl he found in the chaos of an African war zone. They had built a life together, nurturing a bond that transcended biology. They embraced each other's strengths, supported each other's dreams, and grew stronger with each challenge they faced together. However, an unexpected twist of fate lay ahead. Michael fell critically ill, afflicted by a rare, life-threatening condition that left him confined to a hospital bed, his vitality fading. Local doctors were perplexed, but an international medical consortium offered a glimmer of hope through an experimental procedure. The catch was that the procedure required a unique component, a rare mineral found only in the African country where Michael had found Mandisa. Obtaining this component was no easy task. It was ensnared in a web of local regulations, treacherous landscapes, and complex international interests. The news of Michael's illness devastated Mandisa. The man who had been her rock, her support system, was now teetering on the brink of life, and she was his only hope. She looked at Michael, his once vibrant eyes now dimmed with pain, and realized what she had to do. In a courageous move reminiscent of Michael's own act of bravery years ago, Mandisa made the decision to return to her homeland to secure the elusive component for his treatment. The brilliant engineer, once a scared but brave little girl in a war-torn land, was now ready to embark on a dangerous mission of her own. The stakes were high, but the cause was worth every risk. Her decision was met with disbelief and apprehension, and even Michael, in his lucid moments, protested, fearing for her safety. However, Mandisa remained resolute. She had a chance to save her father, and she wouldn't let fear stand in her way. As she prepared for her journey, Mandisa's mind was a whirlwind of emotions: fear, apprehension, and determination. However, there was also a sense of coming full circle. The country she was returning to was the land that had given her life, the same land Michael had rescued her from. Now, it was her turn to rescue him. Armed with her sharp intellect, unyielding courage, and unwavering resolve, Mandisa embarked on her perilous journey. Danger lurked at every turn, but the image of Michael lying helplessly in the hospital bed propelled her forward. She was determined to repay the man who had given her a new life, nurtured her talents, and stood by her as she navigated the complexities of her identity. For Mandisa, this was more than a rescue mission. It was a journey of love, gratitude, and undying hope. 2 decades after leaving the war-torn landscape of her birth, Mandisa found herself on African soil once again. It was a strange mix of the familiar and the alien, stirring up long-suppressed memories. However, this was not a journey of nostalgia. Mandisa had a mission, a dangerous one that demanded every ounce of her courage, intelligence, and exceptional engineering skills. Navigating the intricate network of local bureaucracy and international regulations proved a Herculean task. The rare mineral needed for Michael's treatment was entangled in a web of legal and illegal activities controlled by powerful entities. But every hurdle and challenge seemed to fortify Mandisa's determination. Her eyes, so reminiscent of Michael's, shone with unwavering resolve. Amidst the physical and bureaucratic struggles, an unexpected journey unfolded. Mandisa found herself drawn to the vibrant culture of her homeland. Surrounded by the sounds and colors she had faintly remembered, she discovered relatives she never knew existed, piecing together the fragments of her lineage and history. She resonated with the strength and resilience of her people, echoing the same courage that Michael had seen in her years ago. Every step of her journey revealed a new facet of Mandisa's identity. The brilliant engineer from America found a part of herself in the resilience of her African heritage. Yet each discovery, every piece of her past that fell into place, only intensified her mission. She was here for Michael, the man who had given her a chance to build a life beyond the war and devastation of her early years. As days turned into weeks, Mandisa found herself in the lawless terrains that held the only source of the rare mineral. In a climactic moment that tested her to her core, she found herself at odds with a ruthless warlord who controlled the mineral supply. Fueled by desperation and determination, Mandisa negotiated, persuaded, and even dared to threaten, all in pursuit of the precious component that could save Michael's life. Mandisa's engineering skills proved invaluable as she devised an audacious plan to extract the mineral without harming the delicate local ecosystem. After a heart-pounding execution of her plan, she finally held a small container of the elusive mineral in her hands. This component held the potential to save Michael's life. Overwhelmed by joy and relief, she knew her mission was only halfway complete. With the precious minerals safely secured, Mandisa embarked on the arduous journey back home, battling not just physical exhaustion, but also the agonizing fear that she might be too late. When she finally reached the United States, she had transformed. Her eyes held a new depth, reflecting the complexity of the journey she had undertaken. Rushing to the hospital with the precious mineral clutched tightly in her hand, doctors acted swiftly, integrating it into Michael's treatment. The following hours were a blur of anxiety, anticipation, and hope. Against all odds, Michael's condition started to improve. The man who had once rescued a little girl from a war-torn land was now being saved by that same girl, who had grown into a brilliant and courageous woman. Mandisa had repaid her debt, not out of obligation but out of deep love and gratitude. She had saved the man who had changed her life forever, bringing their extraordinary journey full circle. In saving Michael, she had not only discovered her roots but also found the strength within herself. The little girl from Africa and the brave UN pilot were indeed a family, bound together by an unbreakable bond of love and gratitude. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and subscribe, and this other story that may be appearing on the screen will most likely move you as well. Have a nice day and see you in the next video.